There's something to be said about both the lack of creative stealth games coming out lately and the lack of asymmetrical co-op games in general. We simply don't have many good, refreshing games about sneaking around, and we simply don't have any co-op games that have the players doing different things while working towards the same goal. The latter is most likely true because developing two different ways to play takes a lot more development and it's difficult to pull off in a really fun way. The first is probably true because stealth is, at this point, a very niche genre. It's just not something that the masses really go for nowadays. Thankfully, the developers over at Logic Artists have decided that they simply won't stand for this injustice. They have built a game that combines both sneaky sneakin' and asymmetrical co-op in a fun, exhilarating way that will have both players thinking on their toes and probably screwing up a lot because of something that was totally the other player's fault, and it's awesome. They made Clandestine. Set in 1996, Clandestine has you and one of your friends taking on two separate roles. One as a spy who takes on the physical aspects of the missions, infiltrating restricted areas to obtain information. The other player takes on the role of the hacker who sits back at the van and hacks into cameras to mark guards and keep alarms from being set, while also hacking into door locks to get the spy entry codes, while also generally just watching the spies back and guiding them through each level. While you can certainly play the game in single player as the spy, I want to be clear and say that the best way to play Clandestine is with a friend with the help of some kind of voice chat program. As a spy, things are fairly standard stealth game mechanics, stealth them up stuffs. You have to avoid guards, find intel pickups, and in general get through a mission as unnoticed as possible. In addition, to help the hacker out, you can place modems on computers throughout each level. Modems gives the hacker a sort of checkpoint if they lose connection or get kicked out of the system that they're hacking by the administrator. So they're really good to have and can save a lot of time. You also have the ability to drop objects that the hacker can trigger, like a pager that can distract guards. The actual stealth mechanics of being the spy are pretty interesting and well done. You don't have anything on your HUD that tells you how hidden you are, where a guard is, or where they're looking, or really anything to assist in the actual sneaking aspect. What you do have, however, is the help of your hacker. Their eyes should be all over the place, marking guards that are near you so you can keep a vague eye on where they are. The hacker should be feeding information about when the coast is clear for the spy, since the spy can't see through walls. It creates a really cool feeling for a co-op game. The hacker probably has the more difficult job to do, to be completely honest. They have to pay attention to 4 different screens at the same time, and each screen has different things that they need to pay attention to. There's a camera screen which shows the view from whatever camera the hacker currently has control over. Hacking into a camera keeps it from setting the alarm off when the spy is in view, so it's very important, not to mention the ability to look into rooms the spy can't see in, allowing you to plan ahead. The console displays objectives and information related to the mission, like codes for doors. It can also be used to text chat with the spy if needed. This is the most passive of all the screens, so it doesn't require that much of the hacker's attention. Conversely, the network screen requires the most attention. From here, the hacker runs all around the electronic network of a mission area. Doors, servers, firewalls, computers, and any kind of environmental trap that the hacker can set off are all shown here. You have to be careful in here because there's always an admin running around trying to fix any changes made to the network and trying to kick the hacker out. If the hacker gets kicked, not only will they have to reconnect and work their way all the way back up to where they were, but all firewalls and passwords will be reset and changed, and this is why modems are important. And lastly, the map screen is what lets you really look out for the spy. In here, you can see every camera, guard, or objective location. You can mark guards and set off hazards. To be honest, I'd say you need to pay only slightly less attention to this screen than to the network screen, but it's probably more useful as a whole. The combination of things that the spy and hacker both need to be mindful of make for a game that's challenging for both players, but in different ways. The spy needs to do all she can to help the hacker, and the hacker needs to do all he can to help the spy. If the spy dies, the mission's a failure. There's a lot of pressure on both parties to keep that from happening, and it can create some really intense moments. Getting through a mission in general is satisfying. Doing it without a single alarm being sounded, it feels like you're a professional. No game is truly without some kind of problems, and Clandestine has its small share. The story itself is fine enough, but the delivery of it is very unpolished. The cutscenes are jerky and rigid, and the voice acting leaves a bit to be desired. In general, it just feels like the developers needed more time to fine-tune pretty much anything that's not mission gameplay. Come to think of it, that's really related to any problems I found in Clandestine. It feels like any of the little glitches or bugs could have just been ironed out with some more time. Thankfully, there's nothing nothing I found that actually ruins the gameplay. The whole game works well and continues to be challenging and fun throughout the entirety of its time with your attention. Clandestine is a fun, fresh take on stealth and cooperative gameplay. It's one that I hope people take some keys from in the future. While it has a few problems with story delivery and lack of polish, it maintains a solid level of quality in its level design and its gameplay as a whole. I hope that the developers over at Logic Artists are willing to make another one, because it's definitely something that I would pay attention to. You can get 2 copies of Clandestine on Steam for $25, one for you and one for a friend. If you've got someone to play through this with, then I say definitely give it a shot. There isn't anything else quite like it. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Indie Bytes. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please remember to leave a like and subscribe for more. If you have any indie games that I should check out, then please shoot them my way. You can leave a comment down below, or you can drop me a line on Twitter. My handle's @forkh, or you can shoot me an email at fork4h@gmail.com. I'll see you next time. Bye!